Right off the bat.
Macho Man. Yeah. Sweat Equity Podcast, streaming show, #1 comedy business podcast. You said it, Ric Flair. You said it.
All wrestling today.
All wrestlers. I'm gonna run out of wrestlers pretty soon. I can't reference a lot.
Rick Rude.
That one sounds made up.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
I remember him. Yeah, but you have to do the impression, dude.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you chickened out.
No, it's not that. I'm just naming wrestlers. I didn't think I'd have to do an impression also.
Yeah, you have to.
My bad.
You can be Miss Elizabeth. Listen on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, your mom's Walkman. Miss Elizabeth? That was Macho Man's girl.
I don't know.
I know that.
Okay.
I have a lot of copy on this, and I'm not going to read it because it's pretty long, but if you need a website, you should go to Squarespace through our link in the description of this episode. Squarespace is awesome. Don't go to Wix. Don't go to Weebly. Don't go to WordPress. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Go over to Squarespace. They got the analytics that are easy to read, easy to check out. They got easy prompts. You can make your website the way you want it. No templates anymore. They got that fluid engine design.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's on a
messing with it the other day.
Everything's on a grid, like old school math grid paper.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So make it how you want. Don't be confined to templates. And if you want, I get this a lot, Squarespace is limiting. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
You can do custom code.
You can do whatever you want.
It indexes for you. You don't have to go through the stuff you have to with WordPress. Hit up a free trial. Helps us out. Helps you out by hitting the link in the episode description. And be our BFF. Subscribe to the pod. Rate it 5 stars. And share it with a human being you know.
Or an AI.
Ready to get going. Oh, honey, toddy.
It's called Sweat Equity.
Listening to the Sweat Equity Podcast.
Can you hear that noise?
Yeah. What?
You can hear it?
Your dad noises?
Doing my Kegels, dude.
Oh, okay. That's what that tiny fart sound was.
Mm-hmm. Kegel for life. What? AI. There's been a lot of talk about AI. Like,
there has.
Way too much.
I know. Shut up about it.
Well,
not you. We have to talk about it.
I mean, you were just right before we started. You said you read something on Reddit about
game-changing AI. That now I gotta repeat it because it was. I pulled it out of my ass the first time.
Think for a second. So this episode we don't have a guest. I wanted to theme it as
grab bag.
Well, a little grab bag, but problem solving, really. And full disclosure, I want to be able to cut out clips to be able to use to market Tokabaga, the best agency advisory in the world. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So you have Vamp for you?
I guess. What I was telling you about was some scientists. It's always scientists.
You need some more time.
I'm so nervous.
Well, if anybody's watching this on video, I've got our new merch. It'll be on the store on sweatequitypod.com.
Yeah, you don't got a Vamp for me. It's tough to explain, but it's basically they figured out how to customize proteins that can be injected into a human that are custom to your body, that can solve basically any problem that your body might have because the AI writes it specifically for you. It's not a drug. It's a protein. I was telling you that if we take ibuprofen, everybody takes the same ibuprofen.
Right.
So it works differently on people. Tylenol doesn't work on me. I get a headache and Tylenol does shit.
The painkillers don't really work on me.
Right.
And
well, that's from the years of abuse, but
I did use them a lot in high school. But not
back when football was still football.
No. My friends would have football players on the team. My buddies. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends got ACL surgeries all the time,
on purpose to get the script.
No. This is before it became cool. No, but he would he'd have all these surgeries, the offensive lineman, and he'd be like, "Do you want some of these?" I'd be like, "In class," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm bored."
Yeah,
An all boys
sucks.
Catholic school, yes, anything to get through this day.
Right.
And then a third friend of ours had a dad, I think that was a doctor or something like that, and he always had some on hand.
Yeah, that sounds shady.
And they kind of worked, but the euphoric feeling everybody else gets, I don't get it. And then I think I took one later in my 20s, and I was like, I legit needed it, and didn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean,
I found out there's people that it just doesn't work for.
Yeah. I mean, I get the pain killing part.
Thank
the
Christ.
other, like when people aren't in pain, that's a lot of people are in pain who are addicted to painkillers too. That's the fucked up part. Like that's all they got.
Well, it doesn't. That's the problem. It doesn't squash it. It just
Right. It's just
buys you time.
It's just telling you you're fine when you're not.
Right. And then you don't go work on whatever it is.
But basically, the AI thing was like, you and I are going to have full heads of hair in a couple of years. Whatever your problem is, they can basically just give it a prompt. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm going to guess you have to have some kind of blood sample on your end to give it, to give it parameters.
Yeah. Is it like in my head, it's like a glory hole, and
That's exactly what I was thinking.
with a
too.
flashlight
Yes,
in
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. But you explain
Think
the
of a-
theory
think of
that
a-
we both had.
Think of a glory hole with a flashlight on the other side, so it's nothing weird, and it gets your protein out of that. No,
Oh, that's how you just want to
I don't know.
harvest.
It's a way. I'm not into healthcare.
Yeah, I don't think it's like glory hole. I think it'll be very scientific and probably use a needle or something
But
to
not-
inject it.
Now I think about that idea. I'm surprised that hasn't been
Yeah.
utilized a lot. There's
Could
a lot
I receive it glory hole-ly?
Well, no, it has to glory hole, but it has to have a fleshlight on the other side, so it's nothing weird.
Right.
Don't be a Puritan, dude.
I know, but how that's the whole thing of a glory hole is what if it's not a fleshlight?
That is the real grab bag.
Right.
That is the dumb mystery pop.
Right, the real mystery box.
Yeah, with probably no boxes if you're showing up to a random glory hole.
Right, and if you're putting your dick in a glory hole, you don't care. You're living a life that's,
That's
no rules.
That's real gut check time.
Right.
You really need to do like a Rocky IV look in the mirror moment.
Yeah, train in the Russian Arctic for months before you stick your dick in there.
Find a picture of someone you hate, like Trump, if you're a snowflake, as they say,
What?
and just crumple
Bringing
it.
Trump into this.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a villain people hate. So
Why do you need that? Oh,
Rocky IV.
while you're training.
Yeah.
I thought you meant at the glory hole. I was like, that's not going to do. That's
I
not
mean,
gonna
that
help.
could go the other way. There's people that are very MAGA.
I guess so. Yeah.
MAGA hags.
Huh.
Yeah, AI. I don't like the stress around it from everybody.
What kind of stress you talking about? That they're going to take our jobs? Stress?
The conversations I've been having with people about AI, it has a certain anxiety around it, like kind of like the election or like COVID lockdown time. Like it carries this weight to it. Like we're not going to have jobs in the future. Like a lot of jobs are going to get eliminated. I don't think this stuff's going to happen nearly as fast as people think.
I just saw a thing on Reddit of Joe Russo who directed the I don't know which Marvel comic movies he
Him
directed.
and his brother did the Endgame and Infinity War
So, like,
and
a big
some
deal.
episodes of Community.
He said within 2 years that AI will be writing movies and producing them on their own.
Oh, you can ask it to write you a script for something.
No, I'm talking about like actual film, like the video itself.
Oh, look, our
Plug my avatar in there. I want to have a romantic comedy with Law Smith.
yeah.
And it'll come up with something.
So I hear. I'll give an example. Entertainment wise, everybody's like, "Well, AI can write jokes,"
Yeah.
and yeah, if you've asked it to write a joke, it gets the pieces of it, gets all the elements, but it's not good.
Huh.
Right? There's nuance to it. Plus, there's timing, and maybe it'll be figured out. Our kids' grandchildren are kind of fucked, maybe, but
Right.
but
Well, stand-up comedy, I think, is one bastion of hope. You know, no matter what, you're not going to be able to construe the emotion behind what you're talking about, the experience of it. You know, there's just, you can read a joke from a joke book, but it's not the same as seeing somebody perform it.
yeah, and there's nuance. I purposely like to make it conversational, so it's a little different. You know, it's different than just going up and doing one-liners, which
Sure.
it could probably write one-liners, you know, but
Oh, I'm sure it could.
but it doesn't get the twist. It doesn't get. It's a magic trick, and if you see it coming, it's not going to be
Yeah.
good. And I don't. But maybe it'll get there. But
It'll get there.
so we're in the Moore's Law era. More, M-O-O,
Freudian slip.
error. Yeah. Moore's Law error. The era. All right, let's try that
What?
again. Well, Moore's Law is saying that technology exponentially advances while we're staying kind of
Right.
not as advanced. So who knows? Who knows if maybe old civilizations back 5,000 years already had this and they got wiped out?
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, tell us that. AI.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we should try and see if it figures that out.
I mean,
how
we're
were the pyramids built?
We're definitely going to use AI to write a book. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So the
Don't put that. We don't want everybody doing it, though. We got to do it first. Let me push it out, put our names on it.
If you played around with Chat GPT, it gets you a spark. It doesn't get you everything. It's not now. And then some nerd will come in and go like, "Well, you got to prompt it correctly." And it's like, yeah, I've looked into it. I've done the correct prompts to try to get copy. Copy's fine. Like but it reads like a foreign exchange student.
Yeah.
Like it's not there. Like I'll do it. Like I'll be like, do it in the tone of, I don't know.
Hello, sir. You need podcast promote?
Do.
No thanks, AI.
Yeah, that's
Got enough of that shit.
It sounds like those bad LinkedIn messages we get.
Yep.
From guys in India, and it's almost there, but it's not there.
Hey, let me ask you something. The guys that hit you up for the podcast promote, do they all have MD
Yeah.
at the start of their name? What
They're
is
doctors.
that? Are they trying to fool
Medical
us that
doctor?
they're medical doctors? Is that what they're doing? MD, capital M, lowercase d.
You know, that's something that
Maybe that's like Mr. in India.
I'll look it up. I mean, I've gotten a bunch. MD Indian name means Muhammad.
Okay.
So everybody's named Muhammad?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the most popular name in the world.
For real?
Yeah.
I thought, okay.
Well, you're Googling stuff. Google it.
No, I don't want to anymore.
Okay. Sweet. I win. I'm right.
Yeah, AI. So a friend of ours kind of put this in context that made a lot of sense, and you know, you would have heard it if you went to this dinner party we had.
Yeah.
That you didn't go to, and he probably will listen to this and not be happy with me bringing it up, but.
No, I'm not happy with you bringing it up.
He said something profound that I want to know if he made it up or not. But he's saying, you know, Chat GPT is. We were talking about how it doesn't get you everything. You can prompt it. You can kind of narrow it down to get what you want. But he said it is what the calculator was, you know, when that started coming out, right? So calculators in school couldn't have it, and then in one school year, you had to get a calculator.
Got to get that TI-83.
That's what I said. You got to play Drug Wars.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Start with the lewds.
and so you know, I thought that was that's the best way to put it. Like a calculator isn't going to solve the whole problem for you, but it's going to get you kind of faster.
Yeah.
More accurate.
The calculator also wasn't learning from itself.
No, but I'm
know,
saying it's an apt metaphor.
Yeah. I do think this is a little bit more intense. I don't know how to put it, but like I think the calculator has its limits.
Yeah, and this has its limits. I'm just saying it's not exact 1-to-1. don't don't metaphor
Need to
hate.
go to that dinner party.
No, yeah, I think you're just sour because you missed it. But we, what's it called? It was one of those things. It's about problem solving. Nice.
Yes.
Transition.
Good.
Sweet.
And you said that earlier.
Yeah.
That we wanted to do problem solving, and now you're repeating it.
Well,
That's good.
we never prep except for this time. I was like, let's do some of the old hits. But I want to hear about. You were talking about Data Axle. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's just a good resource for people if they're looking to get lists of it does B2C and B2B.
Really?
Yeah. For an example, just out of nowhere, if you have a dentistry office, and let's say you have dental offices that are general dentists, and then you have a specialty practice that you want to get other general dentists to refer to you, you can go on Data Axle, pull a list of all the general dentists within a whatever radius with as much information as you can get, like, phone numbers, addresses, all that stuff. I don't know how much more it does than that.
How much is it?
I think it was like $50 $50 for like 100,000 long list or something. Like $50 will get you what you need. That was the B2B, and the B2C one was only 25.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was reading that. How much is it?
50 for a B2B list.
How
25 for
How long's the list? What are we talking?
like 10,000.
What?
Yeah. No, it's legit.
Oh, I'm gonna have to use this.
Yeah, no, that's why I brought it up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I gotta.
Have
I say that I haven't gotten a list from it yet. It might be dog shit, but
right.
it's
I was
a good
gonna say,
place to start.
Did you scrub it yet?
No,
Well, but that's still better than any rate I've heard of.
right. That's what I was like. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be $1,200 a month or something crazy. It wasn't. And I think it's a one-off. You don't have to have like a subscription.
Oh, and speaking of reliable, relevant data, going back to ChatGPT, it only gives you up to 2021 as far as like info, I think.
ChatGPT does?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's something people forget that part when they're playing around with it.
right.
So if you're trying to find something like very relevant, very new topic, trending, it might not give you that correct answer. Writing copy, great.
I also think it does Google stuff for you, lots of times.
Well,
it's basically like a lot. I bet 90% of the questions that people are asking ChatGPT are a Google search.
Oh yeah, I mean, my belief is it will take a big chunk of Google's organic search because it actually, I mean, goddamn, how many things do you Google now and it's just garbage? It's just shit. It's just SEO bullshit,
Yeah.
and you're like, it's hit a saturation point because they're 96% of all organic search is between Google and YouTube. And like trying to find something that's not that hard to find on Google,
Right.
but it's fucking suppressed by a bunch of SEO garbage.
Convoluted.
Yeah, it's hit its peak, and everyone's like, Bing's a piece of shit. Well, guess who put $1 billion into OpenAI? It's Microsoft. So
Right.
they're going to take a big market share, is my prediction. You heard it here first. Lock of the game.
Okay.
Game of the week.
Mark it down.
That's interesting. Yeah, data's interesting. I'd say the big problem with a lot of businesses for lead gen is they don't know.
Right. They don't know what they're looking for.
They don't know. Well, no. So this is the big. I've been thinking a lot about lead gen as a just overall thing. Is I was like, every situation I come into, I think about this. What's felt and what's actual, right? That's a lot of marketing overall. I get feelings told to me. Like if I'm asking about a business and they're like, well, we got X locations, we have X amount of employees. That's fine. That's pretty standard. But I'm like, who are your customers? Who do you go after? And they go, I feel like it's like this.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh boy, okay. You don't even know that yet. And so I feel like a lot of the problem with lead gen for a lot of people, a lot of businesses, is they don't know who their audience is.
Yeah. The ideal customer.
Yeah, start there.
Your avatar.
That's the easiest thing to do is go, who would be your best best customer, client, patient, whatever it is, right? Start there. And most of them can't even get out of the bias they have in their head from who they think it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they don't want to be proven wrong.
The solution is to really think, who's the ideal client? Who's the ideal customer? Who's the ideal patient? And you start there, then you break it down. But just because you've been running for a while, right, and you're doing okay, it doesn't mean you don't step back and look at who that is.
Right. And it's the person that's going to generate the most revenue over a lifetime. It's not the person you want to hang out with the most.
Or the easiest to close a sale, but it's not going to be the highest sale. Right? Like, for instance, if you're a restaurant,
you're saying
you should be
able to get in droves that person.
If you're a restaurant that does catering's your big ticket thing, right? Mm-hmm. But you're just relying on the customers at the restaurant to come in and go, hungry. I need a caterer. I need y'all to cater. And it's like, that's not the best. You need to go out and get it. Now, you can accept those all you want, but like, you need to go, who's event planners? Who's like PR people? Promoters,
event
those kind of
managers,
things. Yeah. Weddings, all that kind of shit. So I feel like that's one big thing I've been thinking about a lot. It's just like, man, you really have to, and you have to do that kind of research on like how many is in the market share.
Yeah. Yeah. Your ideal customer might not be as populous as you hope.
Did you die?
Was I talking?
Did you die in that
What
sense?
happened?
I think you're having a stroke, man.
Am I? Is my face drooping?
Here's another thing with lead generation, especially in B2B, I would say, is they don't know. All right, hold on. Let me rephrase this. The biggest indicator for a lot of B2B lead gen is knowing your cost per lead and cost per acquisition. And rarely do I have anybody who has a ballpark fucking idea what that is. If I have a business that's outside of marketing, the marketing world, doing the services and that, I'll have fucking military-like callback on those numbers.
Yeah, and they're not hard to figure out. It's a big math problem, but take the time to do it, and it's there.
Or if you don't know it, take all the leads. How many leads you get this year?
Right. Say it's 100.
Then take your whole annualized marketing budget. Mm-hmm. Divide that big number by that little number.
Right.
You'll get your cost per lead. Then if you can break it down into
conversions.
Yeah. If you blow your mind. What's your close rate on that? 50%. If you're a lawyer, probably 90%. Mm-hmm. Because people don't shop around for attorneys for whatever reason. I feel like people don't understand, and this is funnels than anything. You could apply this to hiring funnel, which very underrated too.
Big time.
Well, we're not good at the hiring process in this country. I don't know how it is in any other country, so I'm going to say in this country, hiring is wildly flawed.
Yeah.
And like you can apply the same tactics to get customers as you can to find talent. And I don't know why people don't do this. I'm about to like blow a gasket because it makes me mad. It's like, why don't you even think about the psychology of the person that you want?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because when you hire that wrong person, I forget the data on the numbers on it, but the cost of, turnover for somebody, training somebody new, it's there. And it will cripple you without even you really knowing it because it's kind of a hidden number.
A bad hire is negative 298%
That's
ROI.
the number. Yeah.
That's wild to me. That's wild that people will hear that and not go, maybe I need to look into this.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of companies I've been in, it's one of those things where they're doing well, so they don't pay attention to management.
Yeah.
And it's like,
or there's like this urgent need. We got to get somebody in, whatever.
Last second.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Right.
Like, be proactive in that. Who would I want in this slot? Right. And what kind of person is that? If you're doing your B2B lead generation correctly, you're getting titles, you're getting the company size, you're getting the revenue, you're getting, if you're good, like I am, like you are, you're getting the psychology of that person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Not easy, but,
Not easy, but like, but the thing that's crazy is you'll do more work kind of limping in. You know?
If you want to keep paying for Indeed every month, you want to keep having to spend an hour interviewing somebody who's not going to work out, all that stuff. Those are the hidden numbers.
Yeah, I just think just the whole process of going through interviews where you do the same thing sometimes with 4 different executives.
Right. And then they don't call you back.
Well, yeah, or like, it's kind of like casting. Like I stopped doing commercial auditions, when I was like 25, because I was like, I don't want to be an actor really. I just want money, because you can make some bank if you had a national spot back then. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I did it. But I was like, they know who they want before I walked in.
Yeah,
and
this is all just a dog and pony show,
right? Yeah,
make you think you got a chance.
The other thing is reporting. This is my big problem with we're not good at statistics as a whole.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, how many statistics do you hear where you're like people don't know how to assess risk, right?
Sure.
Statistically, right? Like,
why don't you tell us how?
Man, I want to get James Sirowicki on this podcast.
Okay.
He's a statistician that I saw speak 15 years ago, but the wisdom of crowds, like overall the crowds will predict if you ask 1,000 people. I think he gave this, I think I've talked about this before. He gave like a jelly bean jar. How many jelly beans are in that?
Yeah.
And then you take everybody's entry, 1,000 people's entry, and it'll be pretty goddamn close.
Like if you take them all and average it out?
Yeah. Maybe you have to do some standard deviation. Yeah, talking sexy now. But like assessing risk, like moms are worried about old water in water bottles. Water that's been in there since yesterday.
Oh my God, don't drink that.
Right. But not them texting in their shitty Kia Sorento while driving with the kids in the back.
Yeah.
Right? We don't really...
Selective risk assessment.
But in those scenarios, if you're the mom that does both, you look zero into what actual old water, whatever the fuck old water is. I've been told I have to put new water in the water bottle of my kid's thermos.
That's a whole thing.
No, I'm just saying, I'm pulling an example. And it wasn't from his mom. It was from, the school.
Ow.
Or another mom.
School's telling us what to do all the time.
I appreciate you thinking I needed to tread lightly there. No, I'm talking about this is
looking out for you.
This is more than one. Oh, fuck, I doubt she listens to this show anymore. But it's one of those things where it's like we don't prioritize correctly. But statistics like reporting. Let's just go back to business. P&Ls. No one really looks at P&L and kind of breaks it down. I feel like it's just like we talked about with Fred Carey last week. No one has a business plan.
Right.
These basic, really basic things, but reporting in our world in marketing, it's like ROI. That's it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all. Are we getting more multiple exponential compounding ROI with this strategy we're doing and executing on it?
Yeah. I mean, it's something I keep track of every month, plugging in those numbers. What do we spend? What do we make? Spit that back out. That's important to know.
And then if you want to do some kind of nautical beacons, something to know, benchmarks, you're on your way, because you're going to do a lot of things if you're good at marketing. You're going to do omni-channel integrated marketing. I hate omni-channel. I hate that word, but
that just means you do more than one thing. You do Google ads and Facebook ads.
Well, I was just talking to someone. I was trying to help someone out, and they're like, "Hey, they just want to hire you to do their PPC." And I go, "No, I need access to the website." And
right.
He's not going to. At the end of the day, all he wants is leads. I can do PPC alone, but you're siloing me out, and it's going to hurt my performance, which pisses me off.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm dealing with that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like where it's just maddening, where it's like, come on, do you not understand? Like, our lives are on the line here, you know?
because because it's complicated to someone that doesn't really marketing feels innate and it's not. It's just like managing people. People think they're a good manager and they haven't sniffed at looking at a fucking management book or psychology.
Yeah.
You know, or even pulled from their own experiences to internalize like how to manage people correctly.
Right. What was your favorite manager like?
You're going on TikTok looking up fucking cinnamon challenge or something, whatever the fuck. So it's one of this, and again, people get hung up on the wrong things. Like, I need you to do social media. We need a social media presence. It's like, fuck you, dude. It's only because you use it personally. That's why you want to do it.
Yeah.
That's not who your business targets.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of that people just don't think about it. It's like, will it help you? Will it bring that ROI? Probably not, especially the time that has to go into that stuff. Social media in particular.
Look, some of these episodes are helpful. You got data, Axel, out of this. Sometimes it's a little therapy vent session.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel better.
I'm good.
You're good? All right.